Australia, a country 11,000 kilometers away. Sometimes the greatest journeys begin with something as simple as love and a longing to hold family close again. For this South African couple, the trip to Brisbane was about one thing, and one thing only: to hold the hand of a grandchild again. The moment we stepped off the plane, our hearts full and eyes misty, nothing else mattered. But then, Australia began to reveal itself. The colours, the light, the endless blue of the ocean brushing against the golden sands, the laughter echoing through the bustling streets and quiet parks, kangaroos at sunrise, city skylines glowing at dusk, and a land so vast and breathtaking it stirred something deep inside us. What began as a visit became a rediscovery, a reminder that the world is wider and more beautiful than they ever imagined, and that love, whether in South Africa or Australia, always finds a way to feel like home. Join us for this series on Australia from our viewpoint as we explore this incredible journey of family, wonder, and unexpected beauty through the eyes of two hearts that crossed the ocean for love and found magic waiting on the other side. Good morning, everyone. We woke up to a very grey and rainy this morning, but that certainly didn't dampen our excitement. Today we are heading into the city to explore more of the beautiful Sydney, and we're starting the journey by bus. Parking in the city can be very expensive, but the public transport system in Sydney is incredibly efficient and surprisingly affordable. I downloaded the Opal travel app on my phone, and within minutes we knew exactly where to catch our bus from Bondi Beach and what time it would arrive at Circular Quay. It's a normal work day in Sydney, so the bus quickly filled with commuters heading into the city. Watching people hop on and off along the way gave us a fascinating glimpse into the everyday life in Sydney suburbs. Traveling this way really is one of the most interesting and relaxed ways to experience the city before even arriving at the harbour. made its way into Circular Quay, the excitement really started to build. Even on a grey and rainy Sydney morning, this place has an incredible energy. Circular Quay is one of the busiest transport hubs in Australia, and it quickly became clear why. Ferries were arriving and departing one after another, commuters moved with purpose, and visitors stopping everywhere to take in the famous harbour views. There is something special about watching the city wake up right here on the waterfront. By this stage, we were definitely ready for breakfast, so we grabbed a quick takeaway from Hungry Jack's right here at Circular Quay. Sometimes a simple warm breakfast and a hot coffee enjoyed while looking out over one of the most famous harbours in the world is exactly what you need to start the day. So, with breakfast in hand and the harbour stretching out in front of us, we were ready to continue exploring more of what Sydney has to offer, and there was still so much to see. One of the first things that caught our attention was the impressive Carnival cruise ship docked nearby. Seeing a vessel of that size so close to shore is always amazing. It completely dominates the skyline and reminds you just how important Sydney Harbour is as a gateway for travellers from around the world. And then, of course, there it was, the Sydney Harbour Bridge. Even in a misty, rainy day, it looked absolutely magnificent. Watching the traffic move steadily across the bridge while ferries glide underneath, it created such a classic Sydney scene. It's one of those views that never gets old, no matter how many times you see it.
Net veerbote waar jy kyk. Almal opereer met mense op. En hierdie ou maak 'n U-turn.
Hy's a klomper. That's the railway coming from the Bay area. That's a double-decker train. Imagine. There we have the cruise ship again, and the harbour bridge, and the harbour bridge, and this is a total crazy outing. It is, everything is soaking wet. But it is what it is. We have to make it work. Otherwise we miss out completely. It's chilly, but it's not freezing though. I think it's like 22 or something. Hello everybody and welcome to a wet Sydney. We took the bus from Bondi Beach Hotel into the harbour area where they dock the ferries. So the ferries can take you anywhere, I presume. And we wanted to go to Manly Beach, but it's just going to be a disaster in this wet weather, so we decided on a harbour tour. And the harbour tour is going to take us to the harbour bridge and the Sydney Opera House. And it's got it's a guided tour actually. So wait and see. Let's go. Enorm van weer hoor. Thank you.
Seats upstairs or downstairs. The coffee machine is over here if you want to grab. We welcome you on board the Pearl ship today for your cruise around the Sydney Harbour. Now as we get started, it is really important I just go through a few safety messages for you today. The first and most probably the important one is we are the life jackets. The life jackets are over tens of thousands of years they would call this harbour marine, which would have been a source of life, trade, culture and ceremony. Of course, after the arrival of the Europeans, this place will be transformed forever.
The Sydney Opera House is one of the most recognisable buildings in the world and a true symbol of Australia. Standing proudly on Bennelong Point in Sydney Harbour, its sail-shaped roof design makes it one of the most photographed landmarks on the planet. The story of the Opera House began in 1957 when Danish architect Jørgen Utzon won an international design competition with its bold and revolutionary concept. Construction started in 1959, but the project faced major engineering challenges, delays, rising costs. After 14 years of work, the building was finally completed and officially opened by Queen Elizabeth II on 20th of October 1973. Today, it is recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and one of the greatest architectural achievements of the 20th century. Since its opening, the Opera House has hosted more than 1,800 performances each year, welcoming over 1 million visitors annually for concerts, theatre, ballet and opera. Many legendary performers have taken the stage here, including Luciano Pavarotti, Joan Sutherland, Elton John and the Sydney Symphony Orchestra. HMAS Catapult is a Royal Australian Navy base located in Potts Point in Sydney, New South Wales, Australia. The base is named for the steam ferry Her Majesty's Australian ship Catapult that was sunk while docked at Garden Island during a Japanese midget submarine attack on Sydney Harbour in 1942. Garden Island itself has been host to a naval base since 1856. This Australian warship is called the HMAS Canberra and carries up to 18 helicopters. Even though it has a ski jump ramp, it does not carry fixed-wing aircraft. It also serves as an amphibious assault ship.
Now, Clark Island is a part of the Sydney Harbour National Park and is named after Ralph Clark, who was one of the officers on the first fleet that sailed here or arrived here in 1788.
Somebody had a party on the boat. That looks like a party thingy. Party feather. Yeah, I think so. Sounds like a good idea.
I want to try and point out a whale jawbone for you, which is diagonally right. So you can see a patch of green grass with a white flag mast, and just in front of that white flag mast, you can see what would look like a jaw. It's kind of like an arch. That is a jawbone of a baby blue whale.
Fort Denison Part of the Sydney Harbour National Park is a heritage-listed former penal site and defensive facility, occupying a small island located approximately 1 kilometre east of the Opera House in Sydney Harbour, New South Wales.
to go, all of this here on the right would have been a gritty container port, which has now been transformed into this bold. Towers you're seeing were designed with a sun access plane in mind, so they don't block sunlight from nearby parks and buildings. The Crown Sydney Tower here on the right stands at 270 metres tall.
This Sydney Harbour Bridge is one of Australia's most iconic landmarks and a true masterpiece of engineering. The bridge connects Sydney's central business district with the northern shore across the beautiful Sydney Harbour. Construction of the bridge began in 1924 and it officially opened in 1932 after 8 years of hard work and dedication. At the time, it was one of the largest steel arch bridges ever built in the world and remains a proud symbol of Australia today. The bridge stretches an impressive 1.149 metres in total length and rises 134 metres above the water at its highest point, making it the tallest steel arch bridge of its kind. Today, the Sydney Harbour Bridge carries thousands of vehicles, trains, cyclists and pedestrians every day, and visitors can even climb to the top for a spectacular panoramic view of the harbour and the city skyline. Whether seen by day or illuminated by night, the Sydney Harbour Bridge remains one of the most recognisable and celebrated landmarks in the world. Today, the Sydney Opera House is more than just a performance venue. It's a cultural heart of Australia and a place where creativity, history and breathtaking harbour views come together in one unforgettable experience.